Good evening, I'm Emma Jane Vere and this is Television Tonga News. Making headlines, the King and Queen to officiate at USP's Laudala graduation in Suva, Fiji. 15 Pacific Island leaders and thousands of Marshall Islanders turn out in the capital for the opening of the 44th Pacific Island Leaders Forum. And travel will be made easier between the islands of Foa and Lifuka with a new causeway. These and more stories, including news from the Pacific, sports, world and the weather information later on in this bulletin. Let's take a look at the news in detail. Their Majesties King Dabo VI and Queen Anasapa'u are in Suva, Fiji to officiate at the University of the South Pacific's Laudala graduation ceremony this Friday, September 6. His Majesty the King was recently appointed as the 20th Chancellor of the University of the South Pacific, or USP, during the USP Tonga graduation ceremony in July this year. A report from Television Tonga News reporter Kalisto Yonuku, who's also in Suva, says around 900 students and many Tongan students will be graduating this Friday. She reports that the Tongan community in Fiji, along with its Tongan students, will also officially welcome their Majesties in a Tongan cultural event in Suva. The Majesties are expected to return to Tonga on Saturday. The King and Queen are accompanied by the Lord Chamberlain Viela Tupo. 15 Pacific Island leaders and thousands of Marshall Islanders and school children turned out in the capital of Majuro overnight for the opening of the 44th Pacific Island Leaders Forum. The theme is Marshalling the Pacific Response to Climate Change. The Honourable Prime Minister Lord Tu'iwakanoa and Tonga's delegation were among the leaders who attended the meeting. Today the leaders and other officials also attend a plenary session where they'll discuss Pacific issues and policies, including this year's climate change theme. A majority of priority issues and concerns to the Pacific Islands will be discussed tomorrow at a leaders' retreat on nearby Eneko Island. Such issues include the suspension of Fiji from the forum until it holds its democratic elections next year. On Friday, observer member countries such as China and the United States will join a post-forum dialogue with the forum members. One key issue could be the ongoing fallout in the Marshall Islands from 12 years of nuclear tests by the United States ending in 1958. Safe and easy travel between the islands of Foa and Lifuka in the Hapai Group is made possible through the reconstruction of a causeway that's expected to be completed at the end of the year. Here's Fatai Whaingaa with that report.
Governor of Hapai, Lord Tuihangana, told Television Tonga News that the project to reconstruct the causeway in the Hapai Group is funded from the government's debt from Germany for the purchase of the MV Olavaha. In exchange for this debt, both governments agreed for a debt swap for development to a value of 4.67 million pa'anga. The money has been diverted to the causeway project. In 2008, the government of Germany agreed to a swap debt with the Tongan government. Germany agreed for the remaining debt of 4.67 million pa'anga be diverted to the reconstruction project of Hapai's causeway. The project manager Taifisi Vekite says the causeway was designed in accordance with the New Zealand's transit area, which can handle a heavy load of more than 200 tons. The causeway was designed with 3 culvert boxes to ensure that it can withstand any hazard. It was designed under HOHN72 Architectural Design of New Zealand to hold and to handle a normal load of 120 tons and an extra load of 240. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of Infrastructure, Ringo Falu, says they have an officer on the site to ensure that all work is complied with Tonga's Transportation Act. We continue our work with the Hapai Development Committee to ensure that they are following the policies and ensure the security and safety of the causeway, which will mainly be used by the islanders. The work is carried out by the CCECC of China and will be completed in December. The new causeway is 1.2 centimeters higher than the old causeway. For Television Tonga News, I'm Fatai Whaingaa.
From Parliament today, the Legislative Assembly this morning unanimously voted for the Family Protection Bill 2013. All members of the House who attended this morning's session had a unanimous vote of 17-0. Parliament today confirmed its support for the bill after the Committee of the Whole House yesterday voted with 15 in favour of passing the bill and 2 against it. In today's second and third reading in Parliament, 2 members of the House who opposed the bill yesterday in the Committee of the Whole House were absent. They were Lord Tuilakepa and Lord Nuku. The Family Protection Bill 2013 was drafted and aims to further ensure the safety and protection of all persons, including children who experience or witness domestic violence, provide support and redress for all victims of domestic violence and economic abuse, implement programs for victims of domestic violence to assist in their recovery to a safer and healthier life. The bill is also for an act to provide for greater protection from domestic violence, to introduce protection orders, clarify duties of the police, and promote health, safety and well-being of victims of domestic violence and other related matters. Tonga Development Bank says that the fees they impose on Westpac Bank of Tonga customers in the islands of Ha'apai and Ewa are the same fees that are imposed on customers in the Tuniwas. The acting managing director of the Tonga Development Bank, or TDB, Rita Kami, pointed this out in an interview with Television Tonga News. This is in regards to a 10 pa'anga fee imposed on Westpac customers in Ha'apai and Ewa when they withdraw 500 pa'anga or more. Here's Sinilatu with more on that story.
The fees imposed on Westpac Bank of Tonga customers in the islands of Ha'apai and Ewa was raised in parliamentary deliberations. According to the acting managing director, Rita Kami, there are standard fees which are also imposed on Westpac customers in the Tuniwas. If there are business checks that need to be cashed, the customer is charged a 5 pa'anga fee. A 10 pa'anga fee is charged to cash individual checks. We charge a 10 pa'anga fee to cash traveller's check, and to withdraw 500 pa'anga, a 10 pa'anga fee is imposed. If you withdraw more than 500 pa'anga, say up to 1,000 pa'anga in one withdrawal, then an extra 5 pa'anga fee is charged for every 500 pa'anga. There is no fee charged on withdrawals that are less than 500 pa'anga. For Westpac loan customers, which charge them a 5 pa'anga fee for every payment. If there are any inquiries after the 2nd of September, we charge them a fee of 50 pa'anga. When Westpac customers use the in-store banking service, there is a fee of 1 pa'anga for every withdrawal and no fee is charged for deposits. The acting managing director says these fees help cover the costs for the bank's services to its customers in Ha'apai and Ewa. These are fees that we must charge in order to cover the costs for providing banking services. It's a new commercial task that must be implemented. We do not have Westpac's system, and they do not give us their banking system to use, so when we punch in an account number and we can see their balance and things like that, according to our agreement, we will pay for any damage from some of those risks we are taking. What we will be doing from now on is that we will contact the branch here in Nuku'alofa to monitor those details. We are the only bank that's operating in the 2 islands, which means we have to take on the full responsibility, meaning we have to double our security system to make sure the money is safe, see that the securities and staff are well catered for. The 10 and 5 pa'anga fee charged when withdrawing 500 pa'anga or more is to try and cover those costs. Mrs. Kami also emphasized that they are trying their best to cater for the banking needs of the people of the islands of Ha'apai and Ewa after Westpac announced that they are going to expand their points of presentation on both islands. In addition, she says that their agreement to be the agent for the Westpac Bank of Tonga is only for a year after they signed the agreement on the 23rd of August. Meanwhile, Westpac's acting managing director, Daniel Hansen, says they've informed their customers in Ha'apai and Ewa of their decision a month ago, and also the Tonga Development Bank's fees. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinilatu.
The Tawhakula Annual Exercise Military Program, organised by the Tonga Defence Services, helps boost the skills and knowledge for local defence personnel and the Kingdom in general. That's according to Lieutenant Commander Brisbane Logotui from the Tonga Defence Services, or TDS. It says the military exercise also helps Tongan soldiers prepare for the battlefield. Participating in the exercise military program are 22 soldiers from the French Armed Forces in New Caledonia, 31 members from the US Marines in Hawaii, and more than 30 members from the TDS. Lieutenant Commander Logodui says this program has been ongoing in Tonga for many years, and it also brings various benefits to the country, such as the Pacific Partnership Program 2013. A French vessel also responded as a part of that Pacific Partnership Program. A French vessel also responded to Tonga's call for assistance when a tsunami hit Niua Toputapo. The Tawhakula military program officially opened yesterday and ends September 13th. Police are still searching for a hooded person who attacked a female pedestrian on Sunday morning. The Assistant Police Commissioner Sokai Mutuapuaka revealed this to Television Tonga News. We'll join Tinilatu with the details.
The police are still searching for a person who wore a hooded jacket and attacked a female pedestrian on Pauliasi Road. The attack occurred while the lone woman was walking on the road leading to Te Whaiva Stadium alongside JM Store in Nuku'alofa. Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the Deputy Police Commissioner Sokai Motuapuaka says such attacks rarely occur in Tonga. The incident occurred around 6 o'clock Sunday morning. The victim was walking from Te Whaiva when she was attacked. She called out for help and got the attention of 2 security guards at JM Store. The pair ran after the person but didn't catch him. The person's identity was hidden by a hooded jacket. The police is appealing to the public to ensure public safety and advises women to be careful when walking alone on the road.
That's the local news. Pacific is next.